Hello folks, this is Yamil Sued for Gunsite Reviews. We are here in Peoria, Arizona, the Cowtown, USA range with my friend Freddie Blish.
Hey Yamil.
How you doing, buddy?
Good to see you.
Freddie is the owner and president at Robar Companies.
Yes.
And also in his spare time, which if there's any, he is an instructor at Gunsite.
Yes.
So today, Freddie, I want you to teach me the proper way to stand while you fire.
Perfect, Yamil. Here's the thing. One of the 7 fundamentals of pistol shooting, or shooting in general, is stance. And it's actually probably, it's one of those fundamentals that is, the least understood. Mm-hmm. And I can, we hear different stances that are mentioned, Weaver stance, isosceles stance, which one is superior, and they'll have these internet arguments about it for days. And the reality is
what do you mean days? It's been going on for decades.
Yeah. One argument goes for days, but the decades of this argument. Here's the reality of it. When the bullets are flying and you're shooting and moving, running and gunning, whether you're in a Weaver stance or an isosceles stance is irrelevant to the fact that you have got to put your sights on that threat and manipulate the trigger without disturbing them to get the accurate hits that's required to end the threat. That's the really the crux of the whole matter. But we still need to kind of discuss stance, because if you're a novice shooter, you're a beginning shooter, or even if you're an advanced shooter, stance is also critical sometimes for that, high, probability, low percentage type shot that you've got to make that, will end the fight. And so what you want really is an athletic stance, because we sometimes see people when they're shooting, the way they're standing, especially novice shooters, it can detrimentally impact how they control the recoil of the gun. And that, of course, detrimentally impacts their hits on the threat or target that's downrange. So, if we start off, if you're standing erect and you're on your heels, just go ahead and do that for me. And you go ahead and just kind of hold your hands up like that, and you're on your heels, recoil. You can't control that. But now, if what you do in a good athletic stance, if you'll take your right-handed, so if you're right-handed, I want you to take your right foot and put it to the instep of your left foot. Okay, and then bring your feet shoulder width apart. So basically, your left foot is just slightly forward of your right foot. Your knees are slightly bent. You're not doing the FBI crouch. No, they're just slightly flexed so that you're not locking your knees. You don't want to lock your knees. Okay, now with your hands out in front of you again, and if your weight is over your chest is over your belt buckle and your weight's there, you're controlling that recoil. It's real simple. Now, the technique or method that your upper body is more of an isosceles, and it's perfectly fine. There's nothing wrong with it. There's this misconception at Gunsite that we only teach Weaver, and if you don't shoot Weaver, you're going to be thrown off the range, and all hate and discontent's going to be poured on you. It's not true. What we want is an athletic fighting stance. How you hold your arms is really irrelevant to us if you're getting good hits downrange and you can control the recoil. So there's this misconception that with the Weaver stance that you were bladed and you were shooting like this. We have pictures of Jack Weaver on the walls in the classrooms at Gunsite. This was a Weaver stance. Notice how I am square to the target, and all I'm doing is, the difference is that my hand holding the gun, the elbow is not locked out, but it is, extended, and my support hand is pulling back, so I have isometric push-pull. And that is what's allowing me to control the recoil. For small statured shooters or shooters who don't have a lot of upper body strength, that Weaver position like that actually helps them control the recoil better. And if you're in a situation, where you're clearing your house or moving around, this is a lot easier to maneuver around than like this. Okay. So, it has its place. They both are good and good methods. There's nothing wrong. It's a way, not the way. And, but the Weaver does provide you some advantages if you're smaller stature, trying to control the recoil, or if you're going to be doing a lot of tactical movement, because that allows you to, put the gun in a safe direction while, clearing objects and stuff like that. So that is your stance. Now, one of the advantages that, or a technique I can show you if you're going to shoot the isosceles that will help is go ahead and present out. Now, some of the more glamorous trainers that are out there will have you do this tactical turtle thing where you get up like this, and they're basically blocking out their peripheral vision by using their upper body to do that. Instead, if you get your head up a little more erect, so now you've got your peripheral vision, your head's on a turret, your body's on a turret, and if you'll kind of rotate your shoulder blades back more, so you actually should be pinching right here in your shoulder blades. What's happening is now using kinesiology, what you're understanding is that now everything is now able to control that recoil and absorb that recoil. So it's a much better technique if you're going to shoot the isosceles method. So in both cases, they bring a lot to the table. They'll have their pros and cons depending upon the situation. But I don't want to get wrapped up in the argument over, well, I only shoot isosceles or I only shoot Weaver. You know what? When you're in a gunfight, you're not going to be able to dictate what position that you may have to shoot from. So you're going to have to shoot from, a myriad of different positions. But the most critical thing that you have to do is keep those sights aligned on the threat and press the trigger without disturbing them. That right there is the whole secret.
And I've been shooting competitively. I shot for about 20 or something years, and everybody was using isosceles.
Yes.
But at the same time, I am not, like you said, I'm not doing the turtle crouch.
Right.
I'm not doing the tactical
Yes.
looking. I just basically bring the pistol up to my eyes instead of bringing my eyes to the pistol.
Yeah, and you'll see with some of the guys that have been shooting isosceles a lot because they don't have that skeletal support, if they flex their arms a lot, that they're starting to get tinnitus. And you're starting to see them wear those bands around their arms, to help with that tinnitus. Again, because it's you're absorbing a lot of recoil with those ligaments right there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's great. So let me go ahead and load up the pistol.
Yes.
And shoot up a couple of rounds down range and see how my technique is.
Yes, why don't we try you shooting your technique, and then let's try you also shooting the Weaver.
Let's try both.
Let's do it both.
Let's go load up some ammo here and we'll be back. There's Freddie. I am going to load my pistol.
Yes.
I'm going to do a practice presentation.
Yeah, every time that gun comes out of the holster to load or, unload, hey, use that as an opportunity to get that pistol presentation. That's one free pistol presentation you get every time.
Perfect. Now load. Okay. So I am going to shoot from the isosceles that I've,
Yes.
the modified isosceles, I'm going to call it, because my feet are in the position that we discussed before.
Right.
And I am going to shoot a couple of rounds. Okay.
Yep.
How was that? Good?
Look good. Let's try, a Weaver position. And again, with the Weaver, all we're doing is just changing the upper body a little bit. We're extending this arm a little bit more, dropping that elbow. Look good.
Look good. My hits are there.
Yes.
So visually. Well, now Freddie, I do appreciate this. I'm just teaching me all this information, and I know our viewers appreciate it too. So I'm going to impose on you for more instruction.
Well, I look forward to Jamal.
On pistol handling. So stay tuned for more Gunstock Reviews and Freddie Blish.
Thank you for watching Gunstock Reviews. Please visit our website at www.gunstockreviews.com for more exclusive content. Please visit our Patreon page at www.patreon.com/gunstockreviews. Your contributions would be greatly appreciated and help us grow our selections and frequency of videos.